If you're listening to this, you found a transmission from the bunker codes. None of this is medical, dental, vision, legal, financial, or any other advice about anything. We're all on the same team and just want to be left alone. Enjoy.
Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of I'm Gonna Talk and You're Gonna Listen. And this is Bunker Codes podcast episode I don't know, and it's filmed in front of a live studio audience, and blah blah blah. So that what you heard, the intro, that's the second of the two intros. I have a heart, so I want to explain why there's two really quick. People are going to have favorites. Hey, how's it going? Yes, I see you in the chat. I don't shout everyone's names out during the podcast to protect your anonymity. So I do see you all. This is filmed in front of a live studio audience, and everyone's names are kept anonymous to protect blah blah blah. So the first one, the gal voice, to explain that if you're not familiar with the lore, but that voice isn't supposed to be a girl. That is for those of you who have purchased a copy of the Bunker Codes, that's the bunker talking. The bunker's got like it's the bunker's like security system talking. Basically, if you don't understand, I would forgive you for not understanding the lore, but I know 3 people listen to this podcast, so I would, but still, I know sometimes my thought processes are kind of obscure. So the gal is supposed to be the bunker's security system, welcoming you into the bunker. There was going to be tons of like sound effects of like air whooshing and doors opening and closing, which would have all sounded awesome. That's going to take more time, and it's not time that I had, and I thought just doing the voice and the sound, the little music in the background would be cool enough. But eventually, the gal voice one will have the sounds of like doors opening and closing and air whooshing in. No, it's not. It's not like HAL. It's not like HAL 9000. It's a nice. It's more like a Holly from Red Dwarf, except helpful and not stupid. So, someday, if I ever make the hoodie comic, it'll have more. Be like Alexa if Alexa wasn't spying on you. Alexa, stop spying on people. Yeah. Like a help, like your bunker. She's like your bunker guide. Like if the AI. I mean, if the bunker, had like a computer to talk to, and the computer would explain everything. That's probably like how I'm gonna tackle the update. Yeah, Bunker Buddy. Yeah, the Bunker Buddy. Yeah, I'm your Bunker Buddy. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I rushed the whole thing and I didn't fully bake it out like I wanted to. It's all in my head. And, I promised to talk about the thing that I promised I wouldn't talking about anymore, which is like, yeah, I know I released the book early, but I always do that. And because I believe it's better to release something than to potentially release nothing. I wish I had done a part 2 instead, which would have been better, but I also like the length. I'm still satisfied with the length of the Bunker Codes, and I'm still very satisfied with how the hardbound turned out. And so part 2 is going to be a lot smaller, and then yeah, what I'll do is it'll be the bunker buddy gal talking. You know, that'll be like the updated intro to the second one. Because the bunker gal voice is at the beginning of the Bunker Codes book. If you read it, it's like the voice says, you know, welcome to the bunker and powers down and everything. That's like, but I really never like dove into it very much because truthfully, like I didn't know how much time there was going to be. Like, I don't even remember necessarily what on earth I was concerned about happening to where I wanted to get this book out really fast. It could have been like if the war in UKR had suddenly gone like super crazy, super fast. The civil unrest arguably wasn't that bad, but I knew it was going to get worse faster. The gang stuff wasn't that bad, but I knew it was going to get worse. So I don't really... I think I wanted to get it out there because I wanted it to have time to percolate. And so that's why I was sitting there like reorganizing it as much as I was and adding stuff as much as I was. Because I knew there was a good chance that I wouldn't be able to get back to it. Plus, I knew I wanted to start the collector's edition. Oh, thank you for the kind words. I wanted to start the collector's edition really, really bad. I wanted to incorporate everyone's feedback. And I remember at least like 2 or 3 people were like, you've got to do artwork for this thing. And I remember telling them, I'm like, that was like the first best idea. And like thankfully they kind of like bantered with me back and forth a little bit, and the Far Side thing came up and it ended up just being so perfect. But I knew it was going to take a lot of time. You love your edition. Thank you so much. There's just I promise I have actual topics tonight, but I want to talk about this too. There's so many things in the hardbound collector's edition that came out really, really, really well. The artwork came out well. Holding off on the religious stuff, the bulk of the religious stuff until the collector's edition came out really well. The art came out freaking amazing. And I had to wait on that anyway because I knew I was going to have to wait for Cyber Friday, Black Thursday, Black Friday, whatever. And so, you know, and I knew it was perfect timing because I knew I was going to have not Thanksgiving, but I knew I was going to have Christmas and New Year's to do the art, and it worked out perfectly. And so I think that was kind of like the timeline of things, like, and I have never written, this is going to sound weird, but I have never worked so hard on a book, on any of my books. I have, like, you know, heads down written, like, hardcore on them. But I'll throw the link to the author page, to the Bunker Codes. I'll throw it in there really quick in chat for you. Here you go. No, I don't have any hardbounds left. Those were pre-order only. There's a paperback and a hardbound. The hardbound is the collector's edition. I only did a pre-order, and I'm not gonna lie, like, the price wasn't the price was, I think, way better than it would have been even a few years ago. Some miracle happened at Amazon, and their price for color, not amazing color, but good enough color, their price went way down. No, the paperback doesn't have the illustrations. Only the hardbound. And it being hardbound doubles the price, and it being color adds another like 30% or something like that. But that's still a far cry from what it would have been even a couple years ago. A couple of years ago, just to print 10 or 20 pages would have been like $30, 30, $40 to do like a proper like tabletop art book is insane. And so, although, you know, that would be like proper art quality. So to do like good enough at that price was a blessing. And yeah, everything for that book came together perfect. Like the size, I wish it could have been like a little bit bigger, but the size is like really good. The game board on the back turned out perfect. The illustrations, the time capsule at the end turned out perfect. Like, it has everything that I've ever wanted to do in it. And that's also why I'm not going to update it. Like, just formatting it takes hours because it's massive. Formatting the paperback wasn't too bad. Formatting the hardbound takes hours every time. So you're worried about the illustrations? Yeah, I was, because so by the way, this is the first book I've ever done. Oh, hey, thank you for the donos. You don't have to do that. I have a coffee page. I really prefer people not donate on here. I appreciate it. I do have a coffee page where you can get early access to the tiny stories and stuff, and there's like 30 or 40 of them on there now that aren't even published, and that's where all my demo stories and stuff go. So thank you though. I don't hardly get any of that though, and I can only cash out like once a year or something, once or twice a year on here, so just appreciate it though. He showed him the hawk one. Yeah, that was so much fun. You helped me draw the doggy face, and it turned out so cute. And I can't believe how clear the doggy face turned out in print. Like, even at that detail and that resolution. It just, I don't know. I haven't done a proper podcast about the hardbound yet, so it doesn't bother me to talk about this. Yeah, everything about it turned out great, and I might do. I don't want to do any illustrations for the kind of supplementary like Bunker Buddy book. I'll probably, and that's probably what I'm gonna call it, the Bunker Buddy book, because I was calling this one like the Bunker book for so long, or the Bunker, and I think at one point like I was gonna call it like the Bunker Buddy book, but it sounded like too kiddie. But like, I think I will, because the second one is kind of like a companion book with all the extra stuff in it. Let's see what my notes are. More religious stuff, psychological stuff, more crypto stuff, VPN stuff, and diarrhea pills, cayenne pepper gel stuff. There was something else. I was talking and thinking about it, and I already forgot what it was again. But I wonder if it was like 3D printer stuff. I can't. It wasn't 3D printer stuff. It was something that came out like on the tail end. And I feel like I got it squeezed in fast enough. I have a feeling it was like the last thing I wrote about. Wasn't batteries, although I do want to write about like semi-liquid, semi-solid batteries. It kind of pisses me off a little bit, honestly, that semi-solid batteries already exist and there's like no information on them. Maybe I'll do something about AIs also. Let me open up the Bunker book hardbound really quick and see. One of the cool things I did, by the way, that was pretty good feedback, is I put what every single like new area and every single updated area was. So if you notice when you read it, there's like little asterisks, and then there's like asterisks updated or like asterisks new. And you can see that I actually ended up updating a lot. And a lot of it was just context. Because I made sure, like, so I did a really, by the way, I did a really clean break between the paperback and the hardbound. And what I did was I used a Microsoft Word compare tool to compare every single word and character and punctuation and everything. And I went through like word by word of the whole entire thing and did a compare tool when I switched over to the hardbound. Oh, lighting. That's right. I think it was lighting. Although I think I was going to add lighting to the paperback and I decided not to. I don't think lighting is important. Hey, how's it going? Doing my podcast. Was it jumping? It was jumping batteries. Let me see if that made it in here. I was jumping a car battery again today. And it drives me nuts. These jumper packs that you get from the store, no bueno. Although, to be fair, I think the battery that I was trying to jump was like toast. I don't even know why. It seems like a new battery. But there's a lot of corrosion on it. We've talked about this before, I know. Pour Coke on it. I don't want to make a giant mess. The weird thing is I thought it was the negative that was bad, but I'm starting to think it was the positive that was bad. I think batteries in here. I hope so. I was playing with a jumping spider yesterday. Yes, I know, you already told me. We already had this discussion. I know jumper cables are easier. Jumper cables are just really scary. And technically, they're not easier because you need a second car. So it's not easier than a jumper pack. So there. Although if you have to jump a giant truck, good luck getting a jumper pack big enough to jump a giant truck. Jumper cables are just Super duper duper scary. I wonder if I wrote that in my blog or my podcast. Oh, shut up. We've already had this argument. I'm not having this argument with you again. I already won the last time. I don't need to like re-win the argument with you. I already won it once. So not doing it again. But what I do want to do before you can distract me with your evil powers is figure out where I wrote this. So it says me. You're arguing with emotion and I'm arguing with logic, so that's not a discussion. Objectively jumping a battery with a jumper pack is easier. If it works, since you don't need a second car. Holy cow. So I used the word battery 107 times in the hardbound. Oh, shoot. I was going to tell my friend about some solar panel stuff. Side note, solar panels, they're trying to, you're not arguing with experience, you're arguing your subjective opinion, assuming that you can magically conjure a second vehicle at a moment's notice. So, no, jumper packs, if they work, are easier because you don't need a second vehicle. I'm not arguing this with you anymore. There's a weird solar panel workaround that's coming. I know this podcast is getting like too serious with me actually trying to talk about real news stuff. But the powers that be vetoed Mr. President Ice Cream Cone his waiver on Malaysia, Vietnam, and so on, which is where China was moving its solar panels to. And so now they were like, well, if he's going to veto that, let's just ship the parts directly to the US and circumvent the whole thing and just build the solar panels here, even though they're like, so we can't manufacture them with slaves, so we'll just send the parts to the US and you can manufacture them yourself. So I gotta talk to I gotta talk to my friend about that. So my cranky friend in the chat says, then carry both. So I have a funny story about that. Because we were going to just jump it with normal jumper cables today. And the people that used to be in possession of the vehicle stole the jumper cables. And they left they left the jumper cable bag in the car. And they took the jumper cables. And I know they did it. And it wasn't until we found the empty jumper cable bag today that I put two and two together. So my cranky friend in the chat, if you have a favorite pair of jumper cables that you like, throw the link in the chat or email them to me, because you reminded me I am in the market for a new pair since I realized the pair that were supposed to come with the car got stolen. So yeah, so let's see, battery, bug zappers, acid burns, time peak. Where in the hell? My cranky friend. I'm trying to keep everybody's anonymity. I want to talk about 3D printer stuff, but I'm super super confused about the legality of manufacturing firearms with 3D printers now. And I don't want to get shadow banned by YouTube, and I probably already said like the wrong words together. Shoot, I did not put it in here. I did not putting jumping cars in here. Which is weird. I have all of the other battery stuff. Oh, I know one more word I can search for. Positive. Stay positive. So your positive's not going to freeze anymore. Oh, uh-oh. I did. It is in here. Tangent about car batteries. I was looking right at it. Harbor Freight has cheap. I don't. Okay. If I, yeah. Do you like basically when you buy jumper cables, do you buy like the heaviest pair you can find, like the heaviest gauge you can find? Because like if you're gonna jump a truck, don't you need like a really heavy pair of jumper cables? Now I know ideally you want to leave it on a charger all day, but if you're charging a battery off grid, here's what I don't know. Charging a battery can take like all day, right? So what I want to do is buy a battery charger and let it run all day. But I don't know how much energy it'll take. So I don't know if I need to bring like a 3,000 milliamp hour battery to like run a battery. Oh, you know what? I can just see how many watts. Just see how many watts it takes. Just regular ones. Okay. So okay, the car battery thing is in here. I did make that in time. Oh wait. You know what? I think I covered it. I covered it okay in here, so that's fine. That must have been why I'm not worried about it. You shouldn't buy the cheapest jumper cables, have thin wires. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking, but I don't know if you go like, you have 2 trucks? Just regular jumper cables and 2 trucks? I know they get like really hot. Just like a extension extension cords. Because my dad had heavy duty, massive jumper cables. But they were also like really long. And so the longer they are, the heavier they need to be, right? Battery chart lead acid battery charger. I just want to see how many watts. You've got 2 Chevy trucks. Oh, okay, cool. You can trickle charge? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, it is a trickle charge. So, like, it must not take that much energy. Right? I'm just wondering, like, how many watts it takes. That's a good point, though. I mean, it is a trickle charge. So, like, if you're... So, I could theoretically run, like, a smaller battery on solar to charge a bigger battery, as long as I know what the throughput is. But I know the charger, like, can ramp it up quite a bit to, like, really get the, you know, the amperage. Ain't you special? Alright, calm down. Calm down, you little monsters. Battery tender plus battery charger. $70 at Wally World. When you're younger, things are 300k miles and 110 miles. Hell yeah. Battery tender plus advanced battery charging system. Sistema avanzado de charge de baterías. Okay. Charge auto. 1.25 amps. That's nothing. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, it's trickle charging, so I could probably run this off a really little battery as long as it has solar. When you younger think, you guys are being very inappropriate in chat, as usual. California Proposition 65. This battery charger is going to cause you cancer if you put the battery charger in your mouth. The Battery Tender Plus is a 1.25 amp battery charger designed to fully charge battery, maintaining a proper storage voltage without damage effect caused by trickle chargers. Close quick connect. Ringtone harness for hard to reach and alligator clips for alternate connection. Reverse polarity protection to ensure user safety. Shit. Perfect. I need to go to propositions. No, I always joke about California Proposition 65, which is if you've never looked at p65warnings.ca.gov, it's like basically that every single thing on the planet causes cancer. Yeah. So okay, shit. Oh, I know why. Because I was checking Bimart, and I didn't see any battery tenders there. These look neat. $70 to go to Walmart. Gotta go to Walmart. Google gobble, Google gobble. Because I don't want to destroy the battery. Hey, how's it going? It's podcast time. Welcome. Although, like, can a trickle charger charge like any size battery? How do I know? How dare you? Everything you order comes with a California Danger sticker? Hell yeah. Those are like, you need like your sticker wall. There's the other ones, like, you'd like go buy a pistol and like the gun, the pistol case would be like, these magazines are illegal in California, don't take them there. It's like, this is a 9-round mag, like, calm down. Freaking nanny state. Anyway, that's a good segue to our next topic. I can't tell based off this battery charger if this can just charge any size battery. Automatically switches from full charge to floating charge. I mean, it's like $70. So I assume it can charge any battery. Half of it's in Spanish. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, well, I'll worry about that later. I'll heart it so I don't forget. So the assault weapons ban is probably going to come in tomorrow. In the wonderful state of the Pacific Northwest. It's funny because it's an emergency order, but some emergency if it's been approved for like a week now and he won't put it into place. Real emergency, I tell you. Like, that's why I'm still fairly sure that he has like emergency orders or something, emergency privileges, emergency something, because like, how is he still doing like emergency orders? And okay, to be fair, it's not an assault weapons ban. He's just banning the new sale. And I'm still a little confused. It bans the list is so big. I don't think it just bans like rifle calibers, because I think it bans like anything magazine, so I think that means like pistol caliber carbines too. Yeah, it does. Bans like pistol caliber carbines too. As the whole thing is just ridiculous. Let's see if I can pull up the whole list. Is it 1240? What's the whole list? Okay. Here we go. AK-47s in all forms, AK-74s in all forms, Algemec AGM-1s, I don't know what those are, American Arms, Spectres, which I've never even seen a Spectre, and I'm sure anyone who has one wouldn't part with it, period. AR-15s, M16s, or M4s, no civilians own M16s now, and you can't buy. I don't know. Maybe you can buy as an M6. I don't know. AR-180s, Argentine LSRs. I've never even seen one of those. Blah blah blah. M1s. Yeah, so M1 Thompsons, which is a gun from like 20s or 30s or something, that's going to be banned now. Yeah, there's exceptions for police. There's also exceptions for the military, because they were like, how the hell are the military supposed to like go around with their guns if you don't make the military exempt from like? And so they had to like stop the whole thing and like walk it back. You morons. Yeah, so M1s, Barretts, Barrett 50 cals, all the Bushmaster stuff, obviously, Colicos, Colts, blah blah blah, the Daewoo's, Dragunovs, which again I don't think I've ever even seen a Dragunov. Like if somebody has one, I doubt in a million years that they would part with that. FAMAS, that's pretty funny. Galils, I've always wanted a Galil. No, I'm never gonna get one. The whole H&K family, which is why, like, I'm saying pistol caliber carbines. In the 1930s, you could order a machine gun from Montgomery. I know, I've seen that. You could order, yeah, Tommy guns and stuff and have it sent right to your door. So, yeah, my dreams of getting a SIG SWAT are over. You know what's weird? No. Yeah, you can't get an Uzi anymore. Oh my gosh, it's no fun where you live. I know. To be fair, I can't own most of these for the sheer amount that they cost a fortune. Like an H&K PSG-1 is something like a $40,000 to $60,000 rifle. Like, there's only a few in the world. So why they put that on the ban list is insane to me, because nobody but a freaking super rich person can afford one of those. And I'll get to that in a second. Galils, it's the same thing. Like, what are Galils on Gunbroker right now? Oh yeah, 1,500. Yeah, there's fuck. Oh man, yeah. It's so I'm not like really tore up about it. Where is? There's a bunch. Oh, you know what? I see what it is. There's like a typo in this. Yeah, the Springfield M1A is on here. Same thing with that. Like, I want a Springfield M1A for years and years and years and years and years and years. Item can't be found. But holy shit! M1As are really expensive too. So I wanted one so bad, so bad. They're so nice, and now they're banned, which is funny because they 4570. Yeah, yep, those are cool. Okay, so good. So segue part 2. Yeah, lever guns. Those aren't banned. I think mini 14s have to be banned. They're not on here though, but I'm sure they are. Yeah, Spectre M4. Yeah, I wish. These are like, yeah, okay. Before I get to like lever guns and stuff, most of the human race, yeah, FNF 2000s, like nobody can afford these. The P90s, no, Scar, like Scar heavies, nobody can afford these. They've priced, besides like budget ARs, unless you buy one in pieces over time, nobody can afford one of these, let alone the ammo and the mags. Until those times where like ARs go down to like 450 sometimes for like a budget AR, and then you don't have to worry about pricing and partsing it out. But like ARs are like priced out of most homeowners price range, because until they're down to like 450, because after you get a safe for it, mags, bullets, a rig, optics, the furniture you want on it, pay for some training, and then you realize that you actually need one for every single one of your family members and every single person that's going to come over to your house, in case you've got to team up, squad up and move out. It really is like an investment, and then you realize, we need somebody with like a heavier caliber for Overwatch and a better optic, and it is an investment, and then you want everybody hopefully on like common mags if you can. You sold yours for 400. Yeah, 400 to 450 is like the lowest end of like the budget range when the market's like ultra saturated, and people, they'll buy tons of them when they're around 450, because it only takes the wrong person going in office and saying the wrong thing to double or triple those prices. And you had better believe that, yeah, I get that you paid 400. I get that. I understand. Yeah, 450 is on like the lowest end of the budget range. 450, not counting tax. DPMX. Oh man, I've never seen DPMXs for 400. I've seen them for like 450 at the lowest end. And yes, they are reasonable right now, and it's because everybody owns like 10 of them. And yeah, you can get like a DPMS. You can get like even like a hard stock on it if you want, and it'll be a tough cookie for sure. Most people will never put enough rounds through their AR, even a budget one, most people will never put enough rounds through a budget AR to actually wear it out. If they're all mil-spec parts, it'll last a couple thousand rounds, and which sounds like a lot, but when you're training, that's nothing. You might, want a couple extra gas tubes or something, a couple like extra pins and stuff. But yeah, yeah, that's weird. There's some weird head spacing stuff where some people's ARs really, really, really don't like shooting reloads, or they really, really don't like shooting Tulamo. Yeah, the market's been flooded because everybody already owns like 10 of them. So the funny thing is, with certain states banning new sales, I suspect that the prices in other states might actually go down even further. None of this is financial advice. But I suspect if you have some weird estranged family member that only visits once a year and you want to make sure that there's an AR waiting in the safe for them if the bandits circle the house while they happen to be there, in the Wild West, I think that when these sales, well, that too, they are selling them. They are selling them so they can eat, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier. People have been priced out of the AR market because, and I didn't get to finish my thought earlier, but because food is so damn expensive. Rent is so expensive. Gas is so expensive. And also, before you're going to declare bankruptcy or anything like that, one of the things they ask you is if you're sitting on any expensive cars or like an unreasonable amount of firearms. Because if you're sitting on like a massive firearm collection, learn how to shoot their bow this year. Oh, bows are so much fun. They are so much fun. Oh man. Completely impractical for home defense. They're so much fun. But yeah, everything's really expensive, and so like if you try to declare bankruptcy, you have to declare how many guns you have, and if you have too many, they'll be like, you can't declare bankruptcy. You're sitting on tens of thousands of dollars in guns. So you have to. Yeah, little known fact. You gotta tell them what your gun collection is. And, if you're like, well, no, I've got my pistol and my shotgun for carry and home defense, and that's it. And they have ways of checking, because they do like, oh yeah, jewelry's another one. Yeah, you have to declare all your jewelry too. And they go, okay, that's reasonable. Like if you only have like a pistol and like a shotgun for home defense, they don't take your guns away. They're very, 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 very reasonable about that. That's pretty cool. It's only for like these people that are sitting on these like massive antique gun collections. And it's like, dude, you've got 3 safes full of collector firearms. Can't declare bankruptcy, moron. So, oh well. But yeah, people like try to sell their shit guns, and then they realize they're not going to get very much for them. And then sometimes it's like the guns that they don't expect are the ones that they get the most from. Who'd be sitting on tons of vintage stuff? You'd be surprised. There's a lot of boomers that didn't pass away from the Rona that are still sitting on 30 hunting rifles. I wouldn't know any boomers sitting on 30 hunting rifles. Boomers, which kind of goes back to the whole thing, like, they're not banning SKSs. You know, they're not banning 4570s. They're not banning M1 Garens. Or am I? You know, they weapons of war. Weapons of war. But these aren't banning M1 Garens, which are a weapon of war. They're not banning 1911s, which are a weapon of war. So we need to get these assault weapons off our streets, okay? And yeah, there aren't even any mass shootings in our state. Probably because everybody's armed. And so, yeah, pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous. Go on, little buddy. You're a military brat, so you love weapons? Hell yeah. Wow. So yeah, that's kind of like part 2. Like M1 Garens, SKSs. They will come after the. I'm really surprised Mini 14s are on here. It's got to be some kind of oversight, because that's weird. I know they're on here though, and I thought just past conceal. Yeah, I heard that. Nebraska. Wow. Yeah, I thought like the Mini 14s. One of those like freaking 22s that everybody has. Ruger 1022s. I thought those were getting banned also. But I don't see Ruger 1022s on here. I know it's like I know it's a massive. Yeah. Anyway, point is they're coming from everything else next, you know. They said, "Oh, 10-round mags." And then it's like, "Oh, it's all assault weapons," which is exactly the same thing Canada did. Your normal everyday well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like every other hunting rifle out there from like the old the last generation of hunters, the boomer hunters. Shotguns in the back of windows trucks again. My dad's truck still has a gun rack in it. I bet you'll see gun rack truck gun rack sales go way up. But yeah, all the boomer hunting rifles, those are all like internal magazine fed 30-06s. Those will go, if you know what you're doing, those will go 800 yards. They'll start dropping off, but I just don't like 30-06s and 308s because they hurt my ears. I have sensitive ears. But yeah, like they're gonna ban those next, and then the hunters are gonna be like, I thought you didn't need an AR to, cause ow, cause deer aren't wearing Kevlar. But yeah, you can. Yeah, if you get them in the heart, right? I mean, it's not exactly super duper duper ethical unless you're really good or really lucky. But I mean, yeah, you need 2 pairs of earplugs. I don't hate 30-06s. Like the sound is just brutal. 308 30-06 762x51, like the noise is just deafening. It is such a painful noise. Whereas like I can allegedly in Minecraft, the smaller rifle rounds, and even like 9mm, although 9mm can get a little snappy because the barrels are short. They use 22. Yeah, I know. Fucking poachers, man. But yeah, you're right. It's horrible to do that. That's so horrible. I hate poachers. But yeah, the hunters. Oh, you don't need an AR to, cause deer aren't wearing Kevlar. We're not going to war with the deer. Well, they're running around with 30-06s that are twice as powerful. So, and like you can have, box fed 8-round 30-06 hunting rifles off the shelf. You like the sound, but you're deaf. Well, yeah, it's probably the only thing you can hear. They'll be coming from those next, and the hunters will be like, why doesn't anyone give a shit that our rifles are being confiscated? And we'll be like, shut up, boomer. Where were you when literally everything else was getting confiscated? Go give up your stupid hunting rifle, you idiot. In fairness, it could have been that you're sitting on the concert amps. Yeah, I remember Ozzy complained about that a lot. Oh, I can't hear anything from being at all the concerts. Wear earplugs, dummy. I can't go to concerts without earplugs because I can't hear the music. It's like it just sounds like sharp pain. I can't even enjoy the song. It's just sharp pain until I put in earplugs. Fainted once, good grief. Emotional damage. What was the other thing? What will they do to those of you who refuse to hand your weapons over? Well, it's going to be a very small number because people are extremely weak and pathetic, spineless individuals. So a huge chunk of people will absolutely hand their guns over because they're raging cowards, and it bounced you right off the amp. Boing. PSA has cheap shotguns. Yeah. Stop. Why are you still clawing me, little monster? Yeah, most people are going to comply. And I already know that for an absolute fact because most people complied with the jab. And if they'll comply with the jab, and they'll comply with the vax mandates, and they'll comply with vax passports, and they'll comply with digital currency, and they'll comply, I think you'd be surprised. I think a lot will. Maybe not as many as in your area, but a lot will. I think people will be more than happy to. I think a lot of people will proactively turn them over, and they'll be by the end they'll be begging. They'll be begging for confiscation, and they will be looking for anybody to go hand them into. calling people sheep anymore is like not even kind to sheep. It's just how sheepy people are, like absolute, like not quite to like the UK levels yet, but like we're only a few years behind the UK, where they can go into your house and confiscate your knives and stuff now. We're not too far away from that. I mean, people in the UK and Australia willfully handed it all in. They didn't even have to go confiscate it. And that's what's going to be like here too. It'll be just like the vax mandate. They didn't have to go house to house vaxing everybody. They just set up little centers and everybody went and willfully did it. And it's going to be the same thing with this. When the gun bans come, they'll set up little gun centers, just like they do with the so-called buyback programs, and everybody will happily turn them in, and they'll pat each other on the back. And it's going to be the same thing with the Mark of the Beast. They'll say, okay, it's time for everyone to get the Mark of the Beast, and everyone will rush right in and do it, because they've proven that they will literally do anything just to make it another day, just to make their lives a little easier. Comfort over freedom. Like, keep this in mind. There's no statistic for this, but I've heard a lot of people bring this up. Everybody, like, how many people really saved their jobs for very long by vaxing in 2020? A lot of those people still lost their jobs. They just didn't immediately lose them. And out of a lot of those people that lost their jobs, they might still have their jobs now. But how many of them just got laid off within the last like 2 or 3 months? Yeah, they lined up their cars and they snaked around for blocks and they snaked through mall parking lots for miles. People are absolutely like brainwashed and coded. And the jabs were a test run. They were a test run for a lot of things. That was one of them. But they were a test run for a lot of things. And that was most likely one of them. I think a lot. You're right. A lot of young people are waking up. However, a lot of those young people don't have the method, means, or anything to really be able to defend themselves, because they've been brainwashed for so long that they're coming out of it. But now they're like, okay, I'm not brainwashed anymore. What do I do? It's like, I don't know. It's kind of almost too late. I don't know what to do. Build an AI that can figure a way out of this, I guess. I sure don't know what to do, because there's no land. There's no land left to buy. You know, I wanted to get land 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and it didn't work for a couple reasons, but I realize now that, like, if I can get land now, the timeline is still okay. But for the younger generation, short of them winning the lotto, there's no way that they can get land. The stats say it's 3 billion. I know it's a big number, but I know they lied about the number. But it still is a lot. There's back to one of the earlier topics about a lot of young people waking up. The biggest news right now, I know this is turning into like an official podcast with official news stuff, and it kind of pisses me off, to be honest, but whatever. One of the new statistics coming out, because of the way the Rona mandates were handled, there's a lot of vax hesitancy for all of the other normal things that people have always been getting vaxxed for forever. And it's like a pretty high number of parents that aren't getting their children vaccinated from anything now, which is funny because they called everybody anti-vaxxers for so long, even though they weren't. They were anti-mandate, not anti-vaxxer. But with the way all of this got carried out, they ended up creating like hundreds of thousands of anti-vaxxers that will not vaccinate their kids from even like mumps, measles, rubella. See if I can pull up the numbers like an official podcast here. It just makes me so mad. This is not an official podcast. Oh, that's funny. No, this article's from 2018. A quiet rise in unvaccinated children could put the U.S. at risk of outbreaks. 2018. Wah, 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 wah. I don't have a soundboard, so you'll have to pretend there was a soundboard there. Here we go. Children take over 70 vaxes, not one of them tested with another. Some of them are. Some of them are bivalent. They all get tested together. I'm not an anti-vax zombie. Here we go. So this is from April 19th, just a few days ago. A new report released by UNICEF finds that 67 million children across the world missed out on either some or all routine vaccinations between 2019 and 2021. And 48 million children didn't receive a single dose during this time period. And keep in mind, it was already down in 2018. Yeah, I can tell. It was down in 2018, but it went further down in 19, which is before the Rona in most places. And then in 20 and 21. So it has been trending down, 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 down. And so, why a lot of people call it the plandemic, I think, like, they're blaming this on the Rona, but it was happening anyway. And it's just further trending down. We're seeing a pretty unprecedented number of measles outbreaks. Last year, 33 countries reported large or disruptive cases of measles. That's compared to 22 countries in the previous year. So, yeah, so to your point about people waking up earlier, yeah, like, I don't think it's just with that one. I think it's with all of them. We didn't hear about any mass shootings during COVID because there weren't any. But that didn't have anything to do with the COVID lockdowns. That had to do with who the president was. We also didn't have any wars during President 45. That doesn't mean it's some big conspiracy. Oh, wait, no. That was during the... Well, yeah. We didn't have any mass shootings during COVID lockdowns because everything was locked down. We just had 2 years of riots instead of mass shootings, so is that better? But yeah, we didn't have any mass shootings the 4 years before that either, because of who the president was, and so yeah. As soon as the lockdowns lifted, we were embroiled in a world war, a shadow war, and the government perpetuates. No, they don't. Bow wow. You better be prepared for me to just tell you you're wrong, because this isn't a truther channel. This is the Bunker Codes podcast, where I say what I think, and then either I agree with you or tell you that you're wrong. Because I do not get along with most truthers, because I think that mass shootings are infinitely more complicated. It's proven? No, it's not. It's not proven. It's an infinitely complicated topic. There's no simple, easy rubber stamp that you can put on it. People say, it's violent video games. Well, what they won't say is that it's leaderboard mentality, or it's, a competition, or it's people trying to, get recognition. Oh, it's medications, but they won't say which kind. It's mental illness, but they won't say, which kinds. Like, it's MK Ultra. Like, some of them, maybe. But, like, it's an infinitely complicated subject. Or the Fantastic Freddy's. It isn't any one thing. I would say it's equally a ton of things. There just happens to be agendas that wait for it to happen. Lots of scapegoats? No, I don't think so. I think it's an infinitely complicated issue, and I think that people have a hard time handling complicated, nuanced situations. If you want to blame something really easy, just blame gun-free zones, which has nothing to do with the government perpetuating anything. They don't perpetuate gun-free zones. People want those because, and it's a very valid reason for wanting a gun-free zone. Just like it's a very valid reason for wanting 20 to 25 mile an hour speed limits past schools. It's because you've got so many idiots out there that are just so stupid that, unfortunately, when it comes to the safety of children, usually what they do is they dumb everything down to the lowest common denominator, because there's so many stupid people. Now, they also have like shit protocols for locking down schools, and they don't practice it because it'll scare the children. But I think it's a respectable, honorable thing to want the concept of a gun-free zone. I totally get it. Again, just like you don't want people to speed through schools. It's the same reason why you don't want people flying drones around power lines, like flying drones around airports, flying drones around helicopters trying to put fires out. Like, it's admirable to want everything to be safe, but we still have, but we're living in an unsafe world, and that's the problem. You know, you're going to be walking around outside and there's going to be ice when you walk. And you have to actively try to keep your roads and sidewalks de-iced. You don't try to manipulate the weather. You know, wet leaves are slippery, but we don't chop down all the trees. You know, snakes and spiders can bite you, but we don't wipe them off the planet. You know, it's admirable to want to be safe, but you have to do things that actually make you be safe. And so that's why I think it's so funny that people get mad at bunkers in general. Like, if you go watch videos about bunkers, everybody just gets mad. And it's like, why? Bunkers actually do stuff. People get mad about body armor. Why? Body armor actually protects people. Why would you try to ban it? You know, they've got security cameras now, but like, they want to just like charge everybody out the nose through security cameras, when if you can see outside your door without having to open it, you're safer. Or like, why do we give schools so much money when they can't prove that they can keep kids safe? And the answer to all those things is, like you said, you knew exactly where I was going with this. They don't want you to have these things because they protect you. They don't want us to be protected. They want us to live in constant fear. They don't want us to be armed, so they put gun-free zone signs up. Like, it's an honorable thing to want. Just like whenever they say common sense gun control. Like, I get it. It's an admirable thing to want people to have common sense. That's a totally admirable thing to want that. Totally get it. I wish everybody had common sense. That shit ain't never gonna happen. So, if we want schools to be safe, if you want malls to be safe, you have to harden them. Yeah, that's okay. Probably some other shows started, and I never mind if people leave to go to other shows, as long as somebody comes in and hangs out. Then I can throw it online and people can watch it later. But yeah, I'm sure people are in other chats hanging out. Quite a few people left, so they like to watch other shows, and that's okay. So yeah, the firearms thing. There's a lot of, one of the questions I asked like a way more prominent YouTuber. You were talking about like 4570s and stuff. The really weird thing is that a lot of like magazine, like tube magazine rifles and shotguns can already hold more than the capacity that they're trying to ban. So I think it's only going to be a matter of time before they come after shotguns, lever actions, internal box mags. And at this rate, it could come like way faster than everybody thinks, because they're probably going to do the same thing that California did. And they'll just go back to making internal box fed, more powerful rifles. more like 308 platform, and some of the other bigger calibers. And then they'll have to ban all that too. And then hopefully the hunters don't wake up too late. Although it's gonna be, by the time the hunters get pissed off, it's already gonna be too late. But I think I'll reiterate again, like, leaving your state isn't going to fix anything unless you're specifically going to the other state to prepare. Leaving doesn't do anything. You're just a coward, to be 100% honest, unless you have some kind of active strategy. Running away is not a strategy. You need to have an actual strategy. What else? Is there anything else in chat? I feel like I covered. I think I wanted to talk a little bit more, not about like knowing your worth, because I already tackled that already. The value of time, they never get them if the Constitution falls, the whole world falls. 100%. Agree. I still think there's a couple cards left to play. I don't think we're done for yet, and that's why I'm not calling for anything crazy, because none of this is a call to arms. We just want to be left alone. And I mean that, like, I just want to be left alone, and I want everyone else to be left alone. And I think there's still some cards left to play. I think the Constitution still exists, and I think it's still intact. And I encourage everyone to be calm and be rational. I feel like I need to say that like a million times every show. I'm going to keep saying it. I want to remind everybody that their time is really important. And your time is really important, and it's really valuable. Patience is also really valuable. I still genuinely believe that everybody will know when it's time to do something, because everybody will agree at the same time. I still truly, I think I didn't believe that for a while. Jeez, the dogs are going absolutely nuts out there. Absolutely nuts. That was nuts. Okay. Again, not my dogs. Not my dogs, and they're not disciplined, and they're not mine. I think because of the Rona, I thought that people wouldn't know when the time was. But I think that there's still a chance that everybody will know when the right time is. But I still am going to just say over and over and over again, everybody just wants to be left alone. And so I hope that Cooler will come into the world crying and will leave crying. I think it's just important that everyone's calm, and that they just remember that they want to be left alone. And hopefully we can all be left alone together. And don't let anybody waste your time, and don't get scammed, and don't let. I think I've said this before, and there's other calm YouTubers saying this too. Don't let the uncertainty cause you to make any rash decisions. And don't forget food and water, and the summer's coming and the weather could be really weird. And this summer's probably, grow food if you can grow food and preserve as much of it as you can. If you have a place where you can do that. And don't sweat the small stuff, but like remember everything that has value and hold on to it. And don't get taken advantage of by other people saying crazy things, because there are people out there trying to trap you into saying crazy things, and so you got to just be calm. And if people are saying weird things that sound weird, distance yourself from them, because you don't want to get in trouble. And I think those are the most important things we can do right now. But it's important to hold on to the things that you have that have value, because people will try to tell you that they don't have any value right now, but you'll suspiciously see that they're not going out and getting those things that they say that don't have any value, even though they want to take your things that have value. And specifically, I'm talking about gardening and food stuff. Don't, if you have good gardening stuff, don't let people convince you that it's not worth a lot, because you accumulated your gardening things for a reason, and water jugs. You accumulated those things for a reason, They have value, they're worth something. Plus, like, it's dirt that you know what's in your dirt. It's yours. You know, like, the chemicals or the no chemicals that have touched your tubs. Like, those things are yours. And sure, like, there may be like a million other things like it, and it may have no value, but the fact that it's yours and you've watched over it and you've taken care of it, it's not hoarded junk. So it's not like a sunk cost fallacy. Like, I have potted plants. I know they don't produce a lot, but I've been taking care of them for a long time, and they mean a lot to me. Yes, they don't even produce enough for more than, a couple dollars at the store, and I know that there wouldn't be enough in them to make more than like a jar of jelly, right? I totally get that, but like, I've been taking care of them for a long time, and they're mine. And even if those are the only plants that I ever have left in the world, and they're technically not worth anything to other people, or that's what they'll tell you, they're worth a lot to me. And I think I'm going to leave you all with that. And that's not a metaphor. I really am talking about like my gardening stuff. Yeah, you can go buy new bushes at the store or whatever, or maybe you waited until the end of the season last season, or maybe you bought some early this season. But especially if it's like heirloom stuff, heirloom seeds, like, here's like what I believe, like, and it's the same thing. Like, I have these little like cactus, like succulent things. I just have a couple. One of them's aloe, so like technically it could be useful someday, but the other one's not aloe. I don't even know what the name of it is, but like, I know as long as that thing keeps trying to stay alive, I'm going to keep trying to take care of it. I know that like this succulent isn't worth anything. It doesn't produce anything. Well, maybe it produces cleaner air or something. I don't know. The aloe, yes. This other one, no. But like, I'm going to keep taking care of it because it's alive and it's trying to stay alive. And the same thing with my aloe plant. Although I swear aloe plants sometimes just like to kill themselves. They are not a very... Sometimes they are not a very robust plant. Other times, they're an insanely robust plant. I have no idea. So, when I get my own place and it's got like a sunroom and stuff, I'm gonna try some different things with the aloe. But the thing like with aloe especially, if you can keep even like a little bit of your aloe alive, transplanting your aloe into more aloe plants, once you get it down and you have the right sandy draining soil and stuff, and you have some succulent like fertilizers, you can make like a million aloe plants, just like potatoes. So like, your one aloe plant may be not worth anything, but like, if it's trying to stay alive and you're trying to hang on to it and trying to keep it alive, someday it's going to take care of you. Right? It's like an investment. It's the same thing with like an elderberry bush. If you actually learn how to take care of it, they're not really worth very much. And you have to prune them a lot. But they're like an investment. If it tries to stay alive, you just keep trying to take care of it. And sooner or later, it'll take care of you. Just like apple trees and cherry trees, which are even worse. They take forever to mature. And so really you're planting those for future generations. But like, is a cherry tree really worth anything when it's small? No. And so people say that's not worth anything. Well, it's not worth anything now, but it's going to be someday. And as long as it tries to stay alive, I'm going to try to keep it alive. Because if it's trying, I'm going to try. And then you just try to be left alone and try to take care of it. And make sure the aphids and stuff and the ants don't ruin it. And then take care of the ladybugs. So I'm going to part with that. And then I'll play the outro here in a second. I hope you like it. Remember, buy my books, check out my coffee. And I don't think this is it. I don't think this is the big one. I think this is going to be like a nasty reset, but I don't think it's going to be the big one. So don't do stupid things like max out your credit cards, and don't listen to psychos that say stupid things like just mind your business and take care. And that's all I got. And just take care of yourselves, okay? And get ready. Yep, there's still time. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. And collect jars and lids. Even if you don't need them, someone else will need them. And even if you don't like pickles, someone else is gonna like pickles. So just don't listen to the people about the whole buying gold thing. If you can barely make ends meet, focus on food and water and security, and medical. I think we have a few years. This is going to be a reset. It's going to be a nasty one. It's just not going to be the big one. So don't do anything crazy, and I'll talk to you all next time. Bye-bye.
This is the end of the Bunker Codes transmission. Please tune in again. Stay kind to each other. We're all on the same team. 73s. Bunker Code clear.